Hey everyone, Craig Williams here, back with another video. In this video I'm going to show you how to make the bass from my track So Shake that's released now on Dim Mak. So for everyone that complains that I don't do a little bit of the sound at the start of the tutorial, here it is. So there you go. There is a lot to the sound. I don't know if it's all necessary. Much of it was from me just playing around and getting different sounds and then trying out different plugins. So as you can see, there's two channels. There's one which is the main bass sound here, and then there's the sub sound, which you probably won't be able to hear. You can see it's registering there, and then it all gets routed into the bus with another whole slab of plugins and stuff on there, and then that gives it the glitch sound and some other like little bits of adds a little bit more to it. So all I've got in the session at the moment is, as you can see, one sidechain channel, one kick, and then the bass. And can hide these ones. This is the one that I just showed you, and then this one down here is everything's reset, so I can show you step by step and how to go through it. Let's unhide them and mute that. Here's the sound, and that's just from Massive, and all I've done is come along, new sound. So first up, let's start from the start. So you want your pitch bend, so you go up and down one octave. You want to turn these off, and because it's not there anymore, let's delete that. Come across to the voicing, and we want monophonic and legato. The routing, this one's pretty important. You want to have the insert to there, and that's about it for that one. The actual synth sound is pretty basic. It takes a little bit of finessing to get the sound in right, but it's for the most part pretty basic. So we want the pulse or pulse width modulation wave type, and we'll knock it down 2 octaves worth. Turn this down a little bit so you can hear what I'm saying, and I can hear what I'm saying as well. And I can just let it run in the background. So we want it all the way around to the left, and then as you can see, as you can hear as well, if this is pushed all the way to the right, you're not going to hear anything, but if you start to creep it a little bit, you get the sound back again. From there, come along to the filters, and this is where we get most of the sounds. So both filter types are bandpass. Come along and put this around the middle. Bandpass just to the right. Then this section here takes a lot to get it dialed in correctly. Once you do it, it sounds pretty decent. We've got basic sort of setup there. From here, we're going to come along and bring this around to about the sort of 230 position, and you start to hear us bringing in some sound there, and we'll come along and put these, and we'll use that again, bring that around to about the sort of 2 o'clock. As you can hear there, so what I've done here is I've just used a macro. I didn't have to use a macro there for that one because it's only controlling the one, but I find it easier if I've just got the 2 there, because this one here is controlling one part, and then it's sort of more the high frequency there, and this is sort of more the bass. From there, I'm going to keep barreling through this pretty fast because there's still a bunch of plugins we need to go through. So come along and put an envelope on there and pull this back around to about there. And the release. From there, come along and we'll put the parabolic shaper on there, pull the drive down and put the dry wet up, and sine shaper on, and that's where we start to get the nice beefed up sound. And again, always I'm only just moving them really finely, and you can hear the sounds changing a lot. So you got to sort of keep an eye on that. As you add something else, you got to quickly dial it in again. And then next up, we've got a bit of EQ, and I've just pushed the low shelf a bit. And that's about it for the sound. So you can hear there, you're starting to get something close to what we want. From there, come along to the EQ, bypass it, put a little low cut on there, just up to around 40 Hertz, and then I've just boosted this a little bit just to give it a little bit more. After that, we've got a compressor on there, and this is just going to help tame the sound a little bit more. Yeah. 4:1, pretty average for a bass. Sort of a medium attack, and then I want about 3 dB of gain reduction, so we want to add that back in there. It's close enough. I'm just going to keep barreling through. Got the sausage fattener up next. Bit of colour and then just a little bit of fatness there. Next up, Omniside, and all I did for this, funnily enough, was went to the bass, and by the time I got to this preset, bass 2, I was kind of happy with that already. It's got lots of crunchy highs in there, which I really wanted. After that, put on the limiter, and I pulled that down. See there's a lot of attenuation there because the Omniside really beefed up the sound. It's, as you can hear, the sound is like really tight and compressed, so it's like something that most people would probably, like a very technical person, would probably not be down with that. And then after that, I put on my the gold sidechain setting, which I put on nearly everything, and I just put it to, we got that pumping along there, and then that's it for that part. Next up, we've got the sub, and all I've done is chosen the Sine sub drive out of factory synth bass Sine sub drive down here. So we've got that. Put a EQ on there. Show you. So we've got a lot of sound going on there. So I've taken that to about the 40 there, and then I've done a low pass. It goes all the way down to about 350, 360. Just so if I take that off, you can see there still is those frequencies there, but that way we give ourselves lots of room when we start adding all the drums and stuff like that up higher. Again, I put a limiter on there, which is not usually the said thing to do, but for this it worked. And just to tame the sound a little bit. And then after that, same sidechain compression setting. And those two sounds together. So it's nice and full. After that, I've gone and routed them both into the bus. So what that does, for the people who don't know, it takes the two signals and then routes them into the one channel or bus. So then you can process those two sounds together. It's really good for drums. If you have a lot of drum sounds, you can put them together, add a little bit of compression, and it helps sort of glue the sounds together. I do it for this, so instead of having a sub and a bass sound, I can push them together and make them sound like one full synth. So from there, when you go bus 11, I've just chosen that out of random. There's no special meaning or whatever. And then we've got this. So that's the two channels together. And from there I put EQ on. Another low cut. We'll try and tighten the sound up a little bit. And then I took away some, like a tiny little bit of the mids. So there, and just because I wanted to accentuate the highs and the lows. From there, we've got the Saturn to try and add a little bit of harmonics to the sound. So from there, we come along to about there. And on this one, we've got the warm tube. Pull it around so it's a little more dynamic. Mixes all the way around and drives down. And then the level is boosted just a little bit. And then for the next part, got gentle saturation, and just pull this down a little bit. And there's that. And then this is where majority of the sound for the glitch comes from this plugin here. So at the moment, kind of sounds all crazy. So we want to turn all these off. You want to come along. And these all up full. From there, so you can start to hear it's coming through a little bit. We want to come along and start to get a bit of a pull up the volume a little bit. And want to start playing around with these. So it's kind of pretty close to where it is, but you just still need to dial it in a little bit more. It just takes a little bit to get everything to sort of work together. Then from there, again, another sidechain compression. We've added a bunch more to the sound, and we really want it to be nice and like in time. Then after that, we add a reverb. And I've just got the platinum verb for this, but any reverb will do. Got the reverb. And all I've got is at 25, but for the purpose, I will turn it all the way up and solo it out. So you want to pull this down on a pretty tight sort of sounding reverb. Again, it's more playing around, trying to get everything to sort of work together. That's kind of pretty close. And then after that, I've got an EQ. Now this EQ is taking out a bunch of the lows, because as you can see, we don't want to double up on the bass frequencies. We just want to take it so it's you're only getting those highs, the high reverb, so it's not making the sound super muddy. And take that back down to about 25 where it was. There you go. And then after that, I've put another reverb on, which is at full. And this reverb, I've got an EQ on first. And again, this one is the same again. It's a low cut. So and then I got a bit crusher on here to sort of add a little bit more harmonic distortion and stuff like that. Crank that up. Got it, and I can solo that up for you. This one's, again, it's a fairly tight sort of reverb. Let's pull that down a little bit. And that's about it for that one. So if I pull it down. So there you go, there's the sound. There's a lot sort of to sort of take in, and obviously I rush through it fairly fast because of the length of it, but hopefully you guys got something out of it. And if you missed something, or if you want me to explain something in the comments again, feel free to leave a comment. I just tried to barrel through so the video is not too long. Don't forget to subscribe to my Facebook channel, and obviously pick up your free samples that are on there and my latest free EP. Don't forget to follow me on SoundCloud and Twitter and all those other pages. And also, if you are going to EDC, make sure you pop by and check out my set. I'll be there playing on the 22nd. And until next time, see you later.